But after this really rough year, I want to talk now about saving for retirement. And how do you plan for the future after such a difficult year? We have Ramsey Alwin, President and CEO of the National Council on Aging, joining us right now. So, Ramsey, I want to start first just by asking how this pandemic has really impacted older Americans, at least financially. We talked a lot about the impacts, of course, potentially when it comes to their health. How has their financial health been throughout this year?
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me. This year has been so challenging for all of us, but especially for older adults and those that care for them. And those of us in the aging field have had to pivot to help each other and meet the needs of older adults that are feeling both the health and the economic impact of the COVID pandemic. The NCOI team's been tirelessly in the trenches, helping our local partners and older adults that are feeling the pain. And we found that, like so many sectors, COVID has really shone a light on the deep inequities that compound themselves upon aging. And that's why we're calling for a new focus on equity in aging. If we're all so lucky we get to age, but it's clear there are those that have the resources to do so with grace, with dignity, and security, and there are those that do not when it comes to a range of challenges around health and finance.
So you're mentioning even some of those disparities, and again, that not all folks have that privilege of being able to retire in the way that they should, that all Americans, that all people should be able to. We talked a lot on this program throughout this pandemic, especially about women and minorities really being impacted. Women, for example, facing higher levels of unemployment as they had to take care of their children and their loved ones. I'm wondering, how should they take steps really to kind of rectify some of those challenges and some of those hardships throughout this year going forward as they look towards retirement? What support do they need to be able to be financially secure, as financially secure as possible in their retirement?
Sure. Well, at the National Council on Aging, we work closely with community based organizations that are there to help individuals that are struggling. And so we encourage everyone, especially during this pandemic, to think closely about creating a budget, planning, tapping into community and local resources that are there to help. And at the National Council on Aging, we have some great tools that can do just that. www.benefitscheckup.org, agingwellplanner.org, and mymedicarematters.org are all tools that can help women and individuals that are looking to get on track with their retirement security begin to identify steps that they can take to get on that path. In particular, benefitscheckup.org can help individuals that may be one crisis away, one job loss, one health incident, one caregiving responsibility away from crisis. It can help get them connected to public and private resources that can free up their income and help them with their utilities, with food, with housing, with a range of types of assistance.
Now, Ramsey, I want to ask you about those of us that aren't yet at retirement age, or they're a ways away, and but still are actively saving for their retirement. I'm wondering from you guys, what do you think this year really tells us? Um, does it show us that we need to save more money in case emergencies and hardships, like so many saw this year, do crop up in our retirement? I don't think too many people had planned or saved or anticipated that they would be going through potentially an economic hardship that has lasted now 9 months long.
That's right. This year has been a real inflection point for all generations. The importance of that emergency savings or that rainy day fund, the importance of adequate, robust healthcare coverage. And it really provides an opportunity for individuals, especially younger adults that are taking on caregiving responsibilities in light of the pandemic, helping their older, frailer family members with groceries or staying socially connected, creating that aha moment to think about their own long term financial security. It's a great opportunity to start now with your planning. The road ahead can be a golden set of years if you plan accordingly.
What about folks that are already in their retirement? How do they continue forward in a way where they're still protective and they still have funding for their even later years?
Sure. Well, one incredible hit of this pandemic is in regard to work and jobs in particular. For older adults that have maybe gotten the double whammy of the last recession and the impact of the COVID pandemic, it has been tough on their financial savings. And so many are going to want and need to continue to work. Although there are challenges in doing so, individuals over 50, over 60 actively have to fight ageism, especially at the intersections of gender and race and ethnicity. This can be particularly trying. So, at the National Council on Aging, we're fighting to protect and strengthen important programs like Social Security and Medicare, but also to fight to blaze a trail so that all that want and need to continue to work can do just that.
All right. Ramsey Alwin, President and CEO of the National Council on Aging. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Happy holidays.